It sounds real dry, don't it? Listen. She sounds dry, but she's not. Leave me alone. Hey y'all, hey, we're back for another video, and this one's a little bit different. Just bear with me. One of the initial premises of the channel was to take you guys along with me on like my Sisterlock journey. If you go back way back a long time ago, that was the initial plan. But I realized that I was going to be a very simple lock girl, like rarely doing any styles, nothing that's going to be very beneficial to you guys. So I kind of fell by the wayside, you know, by way of vlogs, reviews, whatever, girl, get to the point. Okay. I was sitting here retightening my hair, right, because I watched it a couple days ago, and I was like, maybe you guys want like a little video, not a tutorial, because I'm not going to show you step by step by step. This is not that kind of production, okay? The budget's real low. Show you guys some of the key things that I do with my reties. And I say that because I've had my locks about 7 to 8 years now. So I started off with this much hair, little tiny little bit of hair. So some of my little tips and tricks, and for the greater portion of that 7 to 8 year time frame, I've done my retightenings myself. Now it'll be faster, you know, to let somebody just do it. I think the first year someone did it, but then I moved to another base, and you know, being in the military and having locks, it's hard to kind of get somebody that's consistent. And then with Sisterlocks, you know, it's kind of like a gang, and you got to have certain people that's touching your hair. If you go to somebody that's not a Sisterlock loctician and you try to go back to a Sisterlock loctician, they don't want to touch your hair. It's just a whole lot. Either way, the first year, the lady that established my locks in Georgia, she did them, and then I was like, okay, girl, it's hard to catch up with you, and I'm gonna know how to do it myself before I hound you. So I did that for a couple years, and then I ended up here in Charleston, South Carolina. Found a lady for a couple years. She started having shoulder issues, much like what I'm having now, but I'll get to that hopefully if I remember. And so I have been doing my own retightens for a couple more years. So let's just say more than half of my journey I have been doing my own retightenings. So I'm just here to show y'all. Again, not a tutorial, just to give y'all some tips and tricks to kind of make this thing work out for you if you find yourself in the position. So let me just start with where I am right now. Right now I only have about now if you see me looking over, y'all know that the viewfinder is over here, and I damn near can't see, so I'm gonna be scrunching, and it ain't gonna be the best of angles, but just listen, don't look. All right. I've only got about 1/4 of my hair done. Like this little quadrant right here is what I got finished on yesterday. If you want a time reference, it takes me about 2 hours, 2.5 if I'm not really focused, but 2 hours to do this amount of my hair. I know people are like, oh my God, it takes so long, it takes so long. Girl, don't aggravate me. It is a labor of love. It is what it is. Either way, it takes about 2 hours to get this done. So if you look, you will see that this side has been retightened and this side has not. I can't really see because my head is down, but take a look. You know, a little bushy, very much tight. Yeah, so that is what it looks like. So it takes me about 2 hours to do this. It takes me almost 2 hours per section. This might be hour 45 because the back of your head is normally smaller than the circumference of the front, you know. So somewhere between 6 to 8 hours, again, depending on what show I'm watching, how focused I am, what's happening. I'll break it down into like, yeah, I did this yesterday, but if I need to go somewhere, girl, I can part this thing and blend it. You won't be able to tell. It is what it is. All right, let me pop back on and show you kind of my essentials when I'm doing a retightening. All right, let's start with the tools. I have a ton of retightening tools. Some people use crochet needles. I'm not doing that because that's gonna snag my hair. I only tried it one time and it annoyed me. Some people use actual needles. That did not work for me. Some people use curved needles. That did not work for me. If you go on Amazon, you know, they have the pack of the like retightening things here. I have this one with like a larger opening, and that comes in handy so me, I'm somewhat of a fairy in my brain, so I have lock sprinkles on here. Golly, can you see? There you go. So that's one little lock sprinkle that I have at the end of that. That bead is a little bit bigger. I was trying something and I put a little bit bigger of a bead on here, and so that fits through that bigger opening. as opposed to this one. This is the needle. This needle used to be like silver. It's silver is the other one. I put some miles on her. I like this one the best because she is kind of curved, and so that kind of prevents me from picking up hair. This one is a little bit more straight, and I don't like that because as you're going from one side to the other, you could pick up hair next to it, and then you got combined locks. This one, I don't remember what site it came from, but I picked this one up to try it, to like kind of put the lock in there and just do the same concept. Miss Girl, she's too little. They do have different sizes on the website. If I can find it out, of course, I'll try to link it in the description bar. This is a very good concept, but it needs to be just a little bit longer to be efficient for me. And I would appreciate a little curve as well. I'm used to working with the curve now. But if this is something you're interested in, it's just a little, I don't know how to get y'all to see it. I can't tell, but you know, I will link everything in the description bar. I also have this is this copyrighted? Is Artie gonna try to sue me? I don't know, but y'all gonna have to look real quick. It's a Sisterlock. It's the tool that they use, kind of like a little plastic thing with a spring action loaded thing to catch the hair. Girl, my hands short and stubby. I don't have time to be catching and uncatching the hair every time. I've never used it. Don't even waste your time. Let's keep moving. Another thing I have, this is a newer addition to, this is more of like a daily maintenance, but I do use it in my retightnings. This is the Lock Sanity. It's the lock brush. I had a regular brush before and I was like, this is dumb. Why do you need a brush? Now I know. Now that my hair is much, much, much longer than it has been years ago, this helps tangles. So when you're moving from section to section, kind of keeping your hair from being tangled. And also when it came to detangling my hair before my most recent wash, this has helped keep my roots from interlocking, like co-mingling. So I don't have to put as much tension on my roots to kind of separate them as I'm doing my retightenings. Hope that makes sense. So this is like my little, a couple times a week I go in there and bring it to the scalp and do a little scalp massage and bring it all the way through. You know, kind of like how girls be brushing through their hair to keep the tangles from being so prominent. Girl, it sounds real dry, don't it? Listen. She sounds dry, but she's not. Leave me alone. I have a mirror. I'll link it. Y'all know it's gonna be linked, but I think it's a barber's mirror. Like the three-way mirror that you can kind of hang over a door and you open it. I'm not going to open it for reflection's sake, but there's a mirror on this side. There's another flap, like a U-shaped mirror. You can hang it up, and this is what helps me see the back of my hair. The sides of my hair get close, so I'll hang it up on one of these doors back here. It also has a light on it, and this has changed the game for me, so I would invest in that if it were me doing my own retightenings. All right. Also got like a little hair bag. You know, if you black, you know, you need a bag of bows, so a bag of everything. So this is some more hodgepodge type of stuff. It's just a Ziploc bag full of things. Hair ties. Hair ties are going to be helpful for sectioning. I got small ones. It's raining. I got some small ones. If you can see, little tiny ones, not for styling so much, but for keeping the sections separated. The big ones are cool. I got these, but this is more day to day. I don't want to be tying forever when I'm trying to move fast with my retightenings. I also got a little clock in here. Now the clock is just kind of if I forget what's going on. Now for me, I do a 4-point rotation. Whatever your loctician told you to do, you do what people tell you to do. But for me, I have to remember the clock. My starting point is going to be 12. 12, 3, 6, 9, or 1, 2, 3, 4. This is your direction when you're retightening your hair. So 12, like 12, 3, 6, 9. 12, 3, 6, 9. That's the direction on the individual lock, okay? Not a tutorial. Again, I'm just giving you a little bit more information. And that changes depending on what side of your head that you're on. On this side, it's 12. See, confused. 12, 3, 6, 9. 12, 3. And that is to keep your hair, keep it flat. Now in the back, 12, 3, 6, 9, or whatever your rotation is. Now I've done the 12, 3, 6, 9, 1, 2, 3, 4. Just as long as you're going in 4 different directions in some sort of pattern, I don't think it really matters. That's just me. I won't fight. I'm not in the gang. I won't fight. Rubber bands. I have a ton of rubber bands because what I do is I'm going to find a row and I'll kind of show you guys when I come back, because what I'm going to do is pick back up. So this section is done, so I'm going to do this section and then the front of my head will be done today. This is going to be 2 more hours. I've already finished the side. So what I do is I kind of go in there, pre-section my hair, right? So I go in there and I'll find the complete row all the way back to the middle of my hair. All right, we're going to separate this and I'm going to put a rubber band on it. Not tight, not taut. It's just going to be a quick little 1, 2, pull that up to the side, pull another row out, put a rubber band on it, boom, boom, boom. And I'm going to pre-section this section that's already been sectioned. Hope that makes sense. For me, it keeps me from picking up so much stray hair. It just does. I got, like, there's a little section back here when I first started. It might be about 5 locks back here. Picking up extra locks and combining by accident, all that good stuff. Section, 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 section. And that's probably what contributes to my retightnings taking a lot longer than the loctician or than some other people. But if you're going to do it right, okay? What else we got? Prong clips, lock clips, whatever kind of clips you call them. These little silver clips that you use to kind of, you know, pin the hair down along the way. Those are going to be very helpful. I have some bigger claw clips in there. Use those sometimes as well. All right, so that's it for the tools for the most part. Yeah, that's pretty much all that I use, and I do a retightening. So I'm gonna kind of try to show you guys my parting method to kind of make things a little bit more visible for me. So I do ear to ear. So I do like a ear to ear part. Well, I do a middle part bust down situation, right? And well, kind of depends. Sometimes I put all the back in one section, or sometimes I do 4, depending on, because my hair is heavy. It's longer, so it's heavy. Because I've already done this section, I'm just gonna follow the middle, because I know that this section is already complete. I'm gonna follow that line all the way to this ear. Okay, we're gonna section it off, and all of this is just gonna go in a ponytail. Okay, and your ponytail is important because all of this is, ow, it's snagging. Y'all hear them BDBs popping? Your ponytail is important because if your ponytail is high, you're making it more likely to catch that hair and have to pop it like you're just doing a lot. So I just do a low ponytail. So let me see if I can show you. So I'm going to pin this hair down. It's going to be a low ponytail and it's going to be taut, not tight. I don't want to get a headache. I'm going to take my big band and I'm going to tie the back off. So that is done. So the back section I'm not working with, all the hair is pulled back. This is my section I'm going to be working on. It's starting to snag a little bit. I'm going to get my brush. Pull all the tangles out the bottom. So I don't want to keep ripping hair out. Even though it don't bother me. Before I had a brush, I just pull them apart and it's hair. It still grows. You know, it's still whatever it is. Alright. So again, that's my ponytail. All of that is section. Now this section is done. So this section is going to get a big braid. Okay. Because I want to keep things, again, as sectioned off and as separate but equal. As separate as possible. So I'm going to just comb this all the way down. Kind of flatten it. And I'm going to do a milkmaid braid, whatever kind of braid you want to do. But again, I don't want a high ponytail because when I'm grabbing, I don't want to pick that hair up. So I'm smoothing all of this hair down flat. And when I get to the bottommost part of that hair, I'm going to just make 3 little sections and I'm going to do a big braid. Okay, hold on. Again, taut, not tight. You don't have to go all the way down to the bottom, but I do. Again, it's probably not saving me no time, but I just be in la la land, child. I don't have nowhere to be, so whatevs. And if I do, I just take it out. It's the magic of the locks is I can have a gala tonight and still be fine. You know, I'm gonna do a little comb over, a little part situation to hide this fresh roots from the not so fresh roots and going about my day. So that is my braid. Now me, because all this hair touching the rubber against my ear is gonna drive me nuts. So I'll just take this, it's already separated. I'm just taking, I'm gonna pull it into this back ponytail. Everything is out the way, everything is out of my face. So all of this is nothing that I'm working on, so it's gonna get pulled back. So this is everything that I'm working with, right? See, this is the section I'm working on. Now what I'm going to do is, I done did this a million times. I'm going to take my rubber bands and I'm going to separate it out. Like I said, I'm going to go row by row. I'm going to go row by row, and I start at the bottom. I'm going to separate one row at a time and put a rubber band on there. And this is strategic. This is important because when I go back there and sit down and start watching TV, I'm just going to pick up a rubber band, start at the furthermost back lock, retighten it, and go forward. I don't want to have to reach across another lock that causes you problems. So I'm just going to do that now. And I got black rubber bands, and that's just because that's what I found, but I also have brown rubber bands. Brown rubber bands is just for visibility because my hair is closer to black than brown, I guess. I don't know. And that makes it easier to see. So I'm going to separate these out. All right, so I've done about 4 rows. You get the picture. So now I got about 4 rows that I can work on. You see there's a rubber band on each one of these sections, rows, whatever you want to call them. I'm trying to get you guys against my shirt so you can see. So these 4 sections is what I will work with when I start kind of absent-mindedly doing it. Now for time's sake, I'm just going to go ahead and section everything out from here up here. And of course there's nothing in the back section because all of that is pulled back. So from front hairline all the way back to the midway point, everything's going to have these little pre-section rows. And like I said, I don't know if I said it, but the pre-section rows are important because when I go back there and start absent-mindedly doing it, I don't want to keep getting up every single lock. Like there are hundreds of locks in my head, right? I don't want to get up every single lock and keep looking in the mirror like, hey, where am I at? Where should this go? It becomes muscle memory as I've already done it. So once I start, I just pull everything over to that side, use a clip this over, pull one down. So I got 1 row. See, the rubber band automatically pulls the row for me. I don't have to find the row. It's already rubber band together, right? So I'm gonna take my rubber band off. I'm starting far back. I'm starting at the furthermost back. I don't want to start up here because once this is done and I go to lifting hair at this root, I could catch this one that's already done. Now we got popping. So you need to come up with a method that is going to allow you to save some time, some seconds, and keep moving. So as I'm sitting down watching TV, I'm just going, this one is done, next to the front, this one is done, pin it back, next row, and that'll help me out. So now I'm going to section everything off and start retightening. So I've pre-rubber band each row within that section, and I've pinned that back because I'm not working on a row right now. So this row down the center, this is now the row that I'm working on, right? So now what I'm going to do, again, this ain't a tutorial. I'm just kind of showing you how I keep things nice and neat to get me through this without combining stuff and popping stuff and doing what I've already done in the past, right? So I'm going to find the middle. Not the middle, but I'm going to find where the last lock in that row begins. So oh God, how do I say this? The last lock in the row that I'm working on found the back base of that row, and every little tiny little piece of hair that belongs to the back part of that hair, because there are little tiny hairs that, you know, create that little mini fro outside of your lock. You're going to take you a little claw clip thing. You're going to pin as much of that tiny hair back as you can. So let me see if I can show you. So there's a tiny little clip right here that's going to pin back this little bit of hair that's here. I hope y'all can see it. Pin back everything that could potentially get caught up because I'm about to start. Again, I go back to front because I don't want to reach over and pick up hair that should not be picked up when I'm retightening. So this is going to be the first lock that I'm going to work on, right? everything in front of it now gets clipped down. So all the hair in front of it needs to be clipped down. A lot of this retightening stuff is kind of feeling with your hands, feeling for what belongs in one lock and what belongs to another, what's pulling too far that needs to be to the left. Like, use your hands. Use your hands. And then I'm going to go to the left of that, and everything that belongs to any locks on the left of it, pin it down. And this hair is already retightened, so I don't really have to. But if you find yourself picking up hair that belongs to that stuff, you're going to do 4 pins. You're going to pin the front, the back, the side, and the side. And all you have is just the base of that lock and all the little frilly hairs around the base that belongs to just that lock. Right? Okay. So let me see if I can hold my head down and kind of show you everything, how everything's sectioned off. So I shouldn't be picking up nothing except the hair that belongs in this one lock when I get started. All right. All right. Hope that's making sense. So now I'm going to pick up my trusty dusty lock curve needle situation, and I am going to take the lock, right, go to the very end. And I said this in the tutorial, and here I am, you know, whatever. So you gotta kind of gauge how far up or how far down to go. My hair is a lot longer, so I don't want to put that much hair in there, because all of this hair that's left over still has to be pulled through. Girl, I'm gonna make this thing, I'm gonna go up so I have a little bit of hair to pull through. I hope it makes sense. I don't want the needle on the very end. That's just more work that I got to do. That's also more work that I have to keep in my hand to keep from getting caught up in anything and blah blah blah. So it's gonna come through with the rest of it. It's already in the needle. This needle has like a larger eye and a smaller eye, and so the hair is going to kind of get caught in that smaller eye, and it's not going to slip out. So don't worry about that either. So got my hair in there, and I'm about to get started. So I'm going to start at my 12 o'clock, 1 o'clock, whatever your point is, whatever your rotation is. Now for me, they say I have like these little mini froze around the new growth. Your new growth is here. So you want to make sure you're getting all that hair. Some people say don't twist that hair because you might create a hole. That's what the lady told me in my self-retightening class. I've been doing it anyway because, girl, what's the point of retightening if you still gonna have this fro of hair? So any little bit of hair that is around there, I just do a quick little twist. Not like a whole lot like a palm roll. Just one little rotation to wrap it around. And then I'm going to feel it with my fingers. And I'm going to take this needle and go through the center of that lock. Right? Some people drag the needle against their head. For me, I drag it against the lock. Okay? So while I'm pushing it through, I'm holding all this excess hair up because I don't want to create like a knot. So I'm holding this hair and I'm guiding it through. I'm taking it where it needs to be. Right? Now I'm going to my next section. Pushing it through the center. Not the center of the lock, but the center of the base. Okay? Almost like you're trying to do a bust down middle part. You know, you focus on the center of that piece of hair and you going through. That's what you're doing in the middle of that lock. Again, I'm holding all the excess because my hair is kind of long, so I don't want to create a knot, and I'm going to hold it. Now, if you do get a knot, if you get some resistance, what I learned is if you take the root of that hair, grab the base of that lock, if you pull it up, that'll help some of that thicker hair get through and keep it from creating a knot. Some of this is, again, trial and error. You got to try it and see. I'm just trying to tell you what I do. I'm on my third rotation. And I'm going to go through the fourth. So I'm going from back to front. And I always lift my root because my ends are a little bit thicker than my roots. So I always pick it up and help it out. And you're going to keep going. This is my number 3. And it feels pretty tight. See, I picked up some hair from another section, so I have to pop it off. Separate it back out. But I did 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3. Now, I'm a woman that enjoys even numbers, so I like to get a full 4-point rotation in, but if it's gonna make it too tight and my scalp is gonna be tender, I leave it at 3. Also, if you forget where you stopped, start back over at the beginning. So if I'm doing 1, 2, 3, and I'm looking at the TV for too long and I forgot, I just start back over at 1. Don't ask me the logistics. I just do it that way just to keep me from going back over the same number twice. All right, so I can't go any further with that, so I'm done with this lock. So I just take it out the thing, toss it to the back, pin it, and move on to the next one. So yeah, we did one out of, feels like 500. So now that one is done. So you just gonna take your anchor clip off, and if you clip this whole section down that you're not working on, you could just go ahead to picking up your next one. If not, me, I just clip along the way as I move closer. I hope all of this makes sense. If y'all got questions, ask me in the comments and I'll do the best I can. I ain't nobody's expert, nobody's loctician. I'm just doing what I can do. I'm just doing the best I can with what I got. You feel me? All right. So you just pick the next one up, and you're gonna do the same thing. Same thing. Got that anchored in there. I'm gonna take that extra hair, wrap it around. All right. Some people use directions, so we're gonna go from left to right, front to back, right to left. Sometimes I anchor with my pinky. I don't know. I just do what feels good. Right to left and back to front. Okay. Then we're gonna go left to right, front to back, and that's it. I can't get another four-way rotation on this one, so I'm stopping right here. I'm not gonna go. Sometimes I might go one more. Let's see. And the good thing about like the base of this needle being a little bit thicker than the tip, if I'm having trouble getting the tip through, that's an indicator like, hey, you need to. So if I go through it and the wider part of the needle can't go through, the tip can. The tip is smaller, of course they can. If the tip can go through, but the butt of the needle can't go through, just reverse. Take it out, because that's enough. That's enough rotation. So I'm gonna leave that alone. Pin it back and move on. So I just do that over and over and over again until I'm done with this section. Once I'm done with this section, I'll take it, braid it, join your friends over here, pull another one out. Remember, they're already pre-rubber band. Pull another rubber band section, do your resection or do your repinning, and you move on. Once you kind of, like I said, get a TV show going, don't put anything on that you actually have to think about, that you have to put a whole lot of time and energy into, because you want to focus your brain only on this. So play a show, maybe a movie you've seen before, or you know, something that's not going to take your mind off it, because you don't want to lose your place. Like if I'm about to stop and go to the store, if I stop and go to the store, this whole row has to be done. I don't want to have to go in here and try to figure out within the row where I stopped. That's just going to mess you up. You're going to have some that don't get relocked, and it's just too much going on, right? All right, so always finish your row, always finish your rotation. If you got to stop and go check on your black eye piece that's on the stove, finish your 1, 2, 3, 4, whatever your count is, whether it's 2.3.4, whatever finish your rotation before you move and do anything else, so that you don't have gaps in your locks and all this other stuff. I think that's all the tips and tricks that I have for now. If I have anything else, I will come back. I'm gonna try to go ahead and get this section finished, and then once I'm done with this section, I'll come back and show you guys. I don't think you guys need to see the full thing. I think you kind of get the gist, but yeah, I'll be back when I'm done with this section. All right, hey y'all, I'm back. I'm on the second row from the rows that I was showing y'all, and I came back just with a little bit of information on if you have lock sprinkles like I do. You can see there I have one little tiny sprinkle. Let's see if I can get it close so you guys can see it. You can see it? One little lock sprinkle at the end of this lock. All I did was take needle and thread, some black thread, and sewed on like some glass beads. I got some that are kind of, let me see. So I got some that are kind of full on sprinkled up the lock, not too far, but far enough. Can you see it? So that lock is kind of sprinkled, and there's about 4 that are like this, and there's about 5 or 6 with just one little tiny little bead at the end. And these get retightened a little bit differently than the locks that don't have sprinkles. Now, You guys know that I use this for my locks, but for the ones with the sprinkles, I use the one with the bigger opening so that the beads can get through without hesitation. So this one has a little wider base. This one doesn't have a curve, so it's a little bit more harder to work with, but it's the cost you pay for having the lock sprinkles, in my opinion. It's what I've come to learn. So this bead, because the bead is not going to get through the eye, the opening of this eye. It's a bigger bead. It just ain't happening. Now, this bead is bigger than some beads that are on the sprinkled ones, the one that I showed you, but just something that might be helpful. This is my bigger needle, goes through with no issue. See here, and then you're just going to retighten as normal. Keep in mind that the ones that have the sprinkle or any type of obstacle or thing adorned on there, you're not going to be able to tighten that hair as far down to the base of your head. So you can kind of see where everything is kind of crisp and freshly tightened down to the head. This one might have just a little tiny bit more new growth because you have to account for the space of this bead going through the base of your hair. So the base of your hair is going to be retightened only to the width of this bead, as opposed to the ones that don't have it. You can go all the way down to your flat to your scalp. So keep that in mind, but it doesn't bother me because you can't really tell. It's just 1 or 2 less rotations that I can do. And also, when I put my lock sprinkles on there, sometimes I take them off and just come up with a new pattern, whatever I'm doing. I look for locks that are a little bit bigger. Locks vary in size no matter how your hair is parted. I have some that I've combined throughout the years because they were pencil thin, whatever it is. I try to choose a thicker lock, just making the assumption that the base is going to be a little bit more tolerant, a little bit more sturdy. I kind of look at a lock that doesn't have any thinning all the way down, just to let you know that this base is going to be able to support the weight of the bead and the tightening process. Don't know if that makes sense, but that is how I choose which lock gets it. Like a little teeny tiny lock, maybe like this one. First of all, this one is a double-headed dragon. I wouldn't put a lock on there. That's growing out for some other stuff I had going on. But one that's a little bit more tiny, I probably wouldn't put a bead on at all, or definitely not one that's big. So, same concept. And one other thing, what I try to do is I try to keep my hand at the base, because as soon as this retightening tool comes out of the base of my hair, I'm grabbing it, because I don't want to pick up nothing over here. I don't want to, again, combine anything by accident. So the second it exits, I grab it and finish leading it out. So I'm going to pull through a lot slower than I normally would, just to make sure the bead is going to go under the root of my hair. Okay? And whenever I get any resistance, whether it's from the bigger needle, from the bead, anything, the rotation's over. Again, I do lift the root of my hair. That gives me more room to pull through. But that does run the risk of your hair being a little more tender because it's getting tighter. Okay, 3. 4. I got a little bit of resistance there, and I know I can go again. Again, the more you do this, the more you kind of figure out what you can get away with. Starting over with another rotation. All right, that one had a little more pull on it. I don't think I'll be able to get through with this last one. Nope. See, the base of the needle is pulling and it's hurting, so I'm not going to pull that through. I'm not going to force it because my head is going to be very tender in that spot if I force it. So all I'm going to do is just reverse, bring it back out, and so this rotation is now done. The lock sprinkle still intact. Again, it's just sewed on there with the needle and thread. I was still able to get a rotation in there, and that's done. So I'm gonna keep going, keep moving. All right, hey y'all, we are back. I'm just coming back real quick to close out the retie video. It's about 2 days later since you saw some of those other clips. I probably could have finished in 2 days, but it took me about 3. If I hadn't already mentioned, it takes me about 2 hours per quadrant, so to speak, give or take, you know, depending on focus, breaks, all that other stuff. So I am completely done. Retie is complete, and I am good for another 5 to 6 to 7 weeks. Now, I used to set a alarm in my phone where it goes off every 5 weeks, but if I don't wash my hair that day, then I'm behind a week. So the day I finish, I go in my phone and manually put a note for every 5 weeks. Every 5 weeks is the goal. Now that I have this brush, I may be able to push it to 6 weeks because it's going to help with the detangling. I normally know that it's time to retighten, in my opinion, when the tangles are getting to be a bit much and it's pulling at my nails and all that other stuff. Anyway, girl, just show the retie. Okay, so this is the retie. Everything is done. Everything is fresh. Everything is new. Even with this section, this was the section I did first. Then I did this like two days later and one more day. And everything still looks fresh once I'm done with doing everything. Now, what I will say is this is the second round of me having lock sprinkles, and the lock sprinkles that have a significant amount more. If you can see here, there's like some iridescent black type lock sprinkles going all the way. Let me see if you can see. All the way up till about here. These gave me the blues. These gave me the blues. So I think I'm just only going to have like one of those. And the next time that I redo my lock sprinkles, I'm probably going to do a lot more where it's just 1 or 2 at the bottom, or just one larger sprinkle. Let me find one. One larger sprinkle just at the bottom, just for a little razzle dazzle. Or I may have to not go up as high because it didn't catch early on. They started when it folded, they got caught on each other. So that was a lot. So some of the ones, I think I have about 4 of these. This one went off without a hitch. Some of the other ones I just had to stop trying to interlock it, and I just palm rolled the base and pinned it. You will never be able to tell the difference. So just a note for you guys. I guess you guys, I can show you the back the best I can, right? Let's see. That's it. Fully retightened. Can y'all see? She's gonna look a little scalpy on her right here for a few days because everything is freshly parted. She's gonna look a little scalpy in the back, but it's hair. It'll fill in. It'll be fine. One last thing, and I'll let y'all go. Once I was done with my retightening, I normally go in and do like a deep hydration type of thing. This is not daily because these products can get heavy and I don't use a lot of product day to day. Either way, like I already introduced you guys to this brush. This is going to help keep it detangled and pull the product through. I feel like this brush has a coating on it. If it was more porous, I probably would have soaked it in my oil concoction and just brushed it through to kind of better distribute the oils, but not a big deal. Not a big deal. I use like I said, this is just my hydration thing. This is a bunch of different oils. I'm not particular to one oil or another. It doesn't matter for me. This is just like jojoba oil, patchouli, maybe a little peppermint, tea tree, just whatever I happen to have on hand at the moment. They're just in here, and this is going to be once a week, week and a half, every week or 2, not that often because I don't want it to be too greasy. Just a fine mist water bottle. I'll just go in and dampen that after everything is done. So this is going to be my hydration routine, guys. I'm trying to get myself together. Anyway, start with some water, fine mist or atomizer, whatever you want to use to wet your hair. Now, this step is a non-negotiable for me, but you do with this what you will. This is the Carol's Daughter Mimosa Hair Honey. All right, come on, light. There we go. A lot of her words are gone on the back. She's been through some things, but not much of a dent has been made. Like I've had this for about a year or so. Like not much. I take this and this is a shine pomade for dry, brittle, and textured hair. I really don't care anything about the shine or the frizz. It's a lot of my products I scan on the Yuka app to see, what's in it, and if it comes out pretty good, then I'll pick them up. This doesn't have any silicones, no parabens, no petroleum, no mineral oil, but it has shea butter, cocoa, rosemary, all the healthy, juicy stuff. So what I do, I go in and part my hair like one row at a time and do like I don't know, what y'all call it where y'all from, but I call it like a scalp grease. So I'm gonna grease my scalp real good, like just a very light amount, and just go down my roots. I don't have a whole lot of dandruff or any trouble with that, but I do it anyway. Just grease around the perimeter, give everything a good greasing. Now it doesn't have to go to the ends, because I also, before I wash my hair, I do like a 30 to 60 minute heat treatment where it's just these same oils and some conditioner and a little bit of water, and sit under, I put like a grocery bag over my head and a sweater cap, and just let the heat coming from my body just kind of open up the pores and get the heat in. So the ends of my hair are normally pretty hydrated after that. So that was last week, and it's still pretty hydrated from that part. So this part is only focused on the roots. So this is going to be my scalp, you know, the roots of the hair, the newest hair, which comes out of the scalp, to give that some TLC. So that's going to be my second step. Third step is going to be the Shea Moisture Jamaican Black Castor Oil. It's a strength and repair leave-in conditioner. This has shea butter, peppermint, and apple cider vinegar, and this is a leave-in. So this is the leave-in that I'm going to go by. After this, I'm going to go in and just kind of take my hands and pull this through to get the rest of the shaft. A little bit of a leave-in moisture. And this is new to the rotation, but I have a couple other brands, but I'm trying this one out. This is the As I Am Rice Water, and this has black rice water, biotin, saw palmetto, and ceramides for all hair types. This one had a very good rating on the Yuka app as well. Smells pretty good. So this is going to be, I guess, like a little leave-in type situation as well. Even though I think you can use it for like a styling thing. If you use water, you probably don't need this, but it didn't bother me. My hair is a little damp. When I'm done, it'll be like that for the next probably about 5-6 hours. Again, it does not bother me. And if I skipped out on my hot oil treatment while I was deep conditioning my hair or something, or if I just want to go back in, sometimes I pour a little bit of this in my hand and just pull it through. So that's just the deep hydration that happens after I wash my hair and retighten, because I don't retighten. Some people do. Depends on the day. Sometimes I might, depend on what's really going on. I don't retighten after I've done all of this, because I don't want my hands to be real slippery while I'm doing my retie. Also, keep that in mind. So that's like my full hydration routine that I would probably do, like, I don't know, once a month, every now and again. Day to day, nothing. I don't do anything day to day. I might brush it every other day, but as far as products, nothing day to day. Once a week, I might do a little tiny bit of oil, if any, a little bit of water. Water and leave-in conditioner are going to be my refresher type of things. I think that's it. Video might be getting a little bit long. Sorry about that. I just wanted to give you guys as many tips and tricks and things that you want to do, because we know that the economy is in the shitter right now. And you know, we may have to pick up doing our own hair, and that's okay. We can do it. And I'm here to try to help as much as I can. Either way, that is how I do my reties. Again, I know this is something different on the channel, but trying to give y'all more, because my shows is taking forever to come back, and I want to give you guys a little bit more of a diverse profile, even though I'm running out of things to talk about. So let me know what y'all want to get into in the comments. Yeah, so that's about it. So like, comment, share, subscribe, or whatever it is that you feel like doing, and I'll see y'all in the next one. Peace.